Thank you for joining us for the Spiritual Journey podcast. I'm Mary Silvernail, and
I'm Thomas Nice Templar. Who else would I be?
I don't know. I just noticed though that my nails kind of match your shirt
They do. Well, there you go.
when I did that.
But they would look very
So
gauche on me.
I
So,
know. So
anyway,
so tonight's show is about angels intervention. We're going to be talking about that, how the angels can,
intervene on your behalf.
yeah, right. And it's been that way throughout history.
Yes, it has.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
but in the Garden of Gethsemane,
That's a good example
that's a perfect example
for,
because, Jesus was like asking his father to take this yoke from him, and the angel came and calmed him down and actually gave him the spiritual fortitude to go forward till he knew what was going to happen.
yeah.
So,
And
uh,
look at how Abraham, right, when
Abraham
he was
too,
going to slay his
his son,
son, how the angel literally held back
held his
his
arm
hand.
back.
Yeah. So there's been so many. What about now? That's all the
Biblical.
biblical,
That's biblical.
right? But there's so many in the Bible. There's
There's so many.
Gabriel who
That's
came
right.
to Mary.
That's
Yeah.
right. All these virgin births. You know, had to get that way some way.
Mm-hmm.
So you had those things that were involved, and angels were definitely involved in that. Um, you had lot of intervention. I've had personal things, and so have you. And as of late, what has going on? Why don't you tell them what happened
Oh my
over by the
goodness.
store
Here,
and
let's
by the
move her
house?
over a little bit.
Bring it back.
Sorry, I'm
Bring it.
just
Just bring
moving
it back.
her over in
Okay.
between us. So yeah, wow. So we're starting off with that. So don't mind me if I'm just not 100% myself tonight, but I live in Barnegat, and my business is in Waretown, and right by the corner of Wells Mills Road, and that's where the Jones Road wildfire has been burning. They have it 65%
Contained.
contained
Yeah.
now. But thank God no one has lost their life.
No.
I thank God and I thank the firefighters. But it's really, I mean, we're talking about really, really close to the business. I mean, really
Very close.
close.
Very close.
And I've been there 21 years. And it was extremely frightening because I had to go and stay with my son, take my
You basically had
puppies.
to abandon your house to get out of there to make sure you're going to be safe.
Well, yeah, because out my front door,
Yeah.
behind the house across the street, all you saw was orange in the sky
Orange
and
is, yeah.
smoke. I mean, we're talking about a huge fire. You're talking about 15,300
Acres, yeah.
acres. And it just amazes me with the firefighters what they did. We all deeply appreciate them, but this is traumatic. I mean, I had to leave my home, and initially, I'm back now, and
Well, tell them
everybody's
about the
fine.
bonding with the angels to protect your properties.
Well, this is exactly what happened because, it was funny that day, Tommy, because I had clients that day. And then I left the office in the late afternoon. I was wondering why I kept hearing all these sirens and everything, but I was so enthralled with how I was helping people
Right.
that, and the people that were there were enthralled with what we were doing. But then by the time I went out there, it's all smoke. I mean, smoke. And I should have thought properly. I didn't even take my computer. I didn't take Angie's computer. I didn't take anything. That was stupid of me. Very stupid. And some things I can't replace in there, but then we have that whole inventory
Well, yeah.
there. Okay.
Listen,
And I didn't even think about it.
as long as you were safe,
That's right.
your pets were safe, your husband was safe.
Well, he
And,
was in New Hampshire.
well, he was really safe.
Yeah, he was. So
Yeah.
he has not, he really didn't experience.
What you did.
No, no, to see like right by your house, and My son and I watching at night on the news, but what I did was before I left, I just want to say this. Before I left my office that day, I did have the common sense to realize that I asked all the angels. I asked God, Blessed Mother, and all the angels
Mm-hmm.
to please protect that property and all the property surrounding
It's
and protect
it's
everyone.
the memories that you have attached to the business, to the store, the location. Not only that, everybody knows you're there.
Yeah.
Okay, and the idea of maybe even losing that, even temporarily, it had to be rebuilt or something like that. How are you gonna replace all of that stuff? Not say exactly as it was, but like it was somewhat.
Well,
You
yeah,
know what I mean?
because the spiritual journey goes all the way back
Yeah.
to the mid 1990s in Freehold, and then but for the past 21 years, Waretown. So, it's hard. And then, you know, I'm people are telling me later on how I saw Hope Hypnosis and Spiritual Journey on the
On the
news.
news, yeah.
I didn't even know it. I never saw. My son saw it. I don't know if I'm blocking it out or what. But I mean, even we go out to the restaurant Saturday night,
I know.
and the owner there, as soon as I walk in, oh, I saw your business on the news. I didn't realize because we
That-
were right. It was coming down Route 9, the fire, and coming up Wells Mills Road. And that's where the
Yeah.
property is. Right. But I just thank God, and I'm so grateful because this would be a whole different conversation,
Yes, it would.
whole
Yes, it
different.
would.
And there was one business in Forkett River, the town next door, that wasn't so lucky. I
No,
feel so
didn't
sorry
make
for
it.
that man.
Didn't make it.
Feel so sorry for him. But we also have a power plant there.
They had to shut it down. They had to shut it down because that would have been a detriment if that thing would have caught fire, and it would have been terrible.
So everybody who lives around there realizes that, and everybody was like this, although that it has been basically shut down since I think 2018. The thing is that everything is encased in cement, but still, everybody was really, really scared.
That's why they cut down the power, because they were afraid the power lines were going to hit, burn or something would cause it with the winds. And there was a lot of wind out there the other day.
The wind. The
Yeah.
wind. The wind.
You had tornado warnings over there in the area.
You told me that, and I didn't even realize it.
When I saw that, I said, "Man, you can't make this up."
No, this is what I'm telling you. The
You want to
angels
talk about
kept
angel
us
intervention?
safe.
The angels
Safe.
kept that thing like this, didn't let it hit the ground, and
Really?
pushed it off to sea.
I'm telling you.
And that's all.
Well, they still have a little bit of it burnt, but it's further back, and so we're good with that.
I feel bad for all the land that has been ravaged by the flames, but also by the animals that have been displaced and may have died in that fire.
I feel they were
for,
displaced. They ran. Animals. know.
Animals know ahead of time to get out of there. But the point of it is that you're talking about 15,000 acres. That's a hell of a lot of running.
I live in the Pinelands. Okay, I mean Barnegat, Waretown, Forkett River. We're in the Pinelands of New Jersey. And Tommy, you were even saying you didn't realize that it was as big as it is.
I always thought that when you go to Atlantic City, that the Pinelands were only onto the right-hand side of the road, all the way down to Atlantic City. I had no idea they were on the other side of the what do they call that? The Garden State.
Mm-hmm.
On the other side of that. You can see how many times I've been in Jersey.
Oh, you've been to New Jersey. I
was just the Angels that guide me.
You can't-
Metatron came out when I was coming out to you.
Well, Metatron, hey, let me tell you, if it wasn't for huge Metatron, I'm sure. And it's funny you're saying that
Because he had those wings open and surrounded the
Yeah.
business and your home. And that was it. Let's look at it that way, that the angel intervention, and that's why it didn't happen. You hear these things out in California, and houses are burning like,
scary.
it's very scary thing.
And haven't you noticed we keep hearing first Hawaii, California, New Jersey. Now, then you hear. I heard something today on the news when I was in the bagel shop. they had the news on, and there's some kind of fires out, and where is it, New Mexico or some? I don't know.
It was a dry
It's
climate in New
what
York.
the
Yeah,
heck?
very dry there in New Mexico.
What is going on?
With the
I don't
fires?
get it. Yeah. What do you think?
All I say is this.
I want to know what you think.
Well, this one here, we had a kid who started this and got it out of control. But
Well, allegedly.
my whole thing is like, watch for the land grab. Just watch for the
You
land
said
grab.
that to me, and that scares
I
the
do
crap
not
out
trust
of me.
anything. The California fires was a land grab. The fires in Hawaii was a land grab. Okay, everybody who bought up that land, okay, houses didn't burn in the same area. Gee, isn't that coincidence? Because they had a blue roof. How about that one?
Yeah, but that didn't happen here. Thank God.
It didn't happen here, but the whole point
Thank
was I always say
God.
follow the
Oh,
money,
sad.
follow the land grab. Who's looking to buy that property?
Well, the Pinelands, I mean, you're not allowed
You're
to
not allowed to
build.
build. I understand that, but you
Yeah.
know what? Sometimes, like they're not allowed to build on the blue belt here, but there have been encroachments. You know, so I don't buy anything that any governmental authority says.
No.
All right, because they lie through their teeth.
About Hawaii, I could just feel that. Couldn't you
Oh yeah,
just feel that when that was happening? It
it
was
pushed
pretty
all the people
obvious.
into the water. You know, it was just crazy there.
Yeah, but I mean, this was, allegedly a kid in the woods. A lot in the Pinelands, a lot of the teenagers, that's what they do. They go, four-wheeling and stuff like that through the Pinelands, through the woods, and then they start a bonfire and things. But this was a very big one that happened. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
no.
know. I'm just very grateful. As far as the animals go, I have it within my heart and my soul and my head and all my emotion that animals know,
They
you
do. They
know,
do know that, but the thing I would say
they
this:
ran.
I always say that if I see an animal is dying or it has whatever it is, I ask God to put them on my property and I'll take care of them when I get there.
Yeah, you have a lot
So
of animals
I
up there,
got
don't
I got a
you?
boatload up there.
I know, just waiting for you, Tommy.
They're waiting for me. They're waiting for me. When I get there, I'll have plenty of company.
I was so happy the other night I was driving home because on the parkway down by me,
Yeah.
on each side of the parkway, the trees are burnt. Literally, and through yesterday morning, you could actually see smoke on the side of the parkway down around by those X's down by me. And but anyway, I had seen some deer, not by where it was smoldering, right? But I had seen a couple of deer, the other night eating a little dinner
As long as
on the
they,
side of the
as
road.
long as
Thank
they're not
God.
hurt like that.
Yep. Yep, yep. Well, look at how many times the angels have interceded for you. Look at your near-death experiences that you've had.
3 times.
Yeah, that's who intercedes. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I
Hmm.
can't believe you always hear these people. They say, I was in the presence of someone, or there was a long tunnel and there was a bright light at the end, and all those things may be true for these individuals.
Yeah.
But while I was
Everybody's
choking to
different.
death and I was blacking out, the only thing I told you, the only thing I was able to hear myself say, "Please God, don't let me die like Mama Cass Elliot."
Jeez.
I did not want to die like that. My brother the next day was his wake in Florida, and I would have been dead along with him. So it was a scary moment. That happened again in my house, in front of my daughter, and it happened years ago too. I was lucky that somebody was there.
You really were. I had two near-death experiences. The first one happened that I was almost hit by a train. I don't know what stopped my car. Obviously, we probably figure Michael. This was when I was in my early 20s. I was riding on Route 1 in Edison, and I was going a little bit too fast going to work. I was late for work. And there's a train that literally used to go right across Route 1. And there was a train. I came very close to that train.
It's funny you mentioned that. I had an experience with a train too when I used to work for the company, a truck air freight outfit.
Did you?
What happened was I was in Maspeth, in the industrial area off this street called Russ Street, and I was coming across the tracks. Now you can see down the left and to the right with any trains. As I'm going, I'm not going fast. I had a flat face Mack truck, and I was in like third gear, second gear, and all of a sudden, as I'm in between the tracks, the arms came down. I'm in between the tracks.
And you're in between?
Yeah.
Wow.
And there was no
that's
ding, ding, ding,
frightening.
ding, ding. After I was in between, then it started.
That's
I made a turnaround one arm. I should have broke them right off, to tell you the truth.
the way you turned the trunk.
But yeah, I got around it and everything else like that. And that train just went right behind me.
Wow.
Okay. When I tell you, I had to go to the hospital that night. I got back to the airport. They had to send somebody out and get me. My chest rose up about a quarter inch above, like all full of like hives all over me. That was all adrenaline and nerves.
Yes.
They had to come and get me, and it was a spooky. And if you don't think that I thought that I had my angels with me, huh,
Oh, absolutely.
goodness.
Absolutely. The other time with me, I think I told you about this one a while back. I had a lot of dental work done, and I have an allergic reaction to
Novocaine?
latex.
Oh, latex.
Latex. And I won't go into detail about it. It is not my current dentist, but another dentist I had, he had done all this work and he forgot, and he used latex gloves. And anyway, long story short, I was home and my mouth and
Swell up.
my tongue was out swollen. I was home alone. I'm always home alone when these things
It's
happen to
scary
me.
stuff.
Yeah. And long story short, I drove myself to the emergency room, and thank God, I mean, they brought me right in. And, but I remember I literally left my body. I could tell you how long ago it was. My grandson is 15. He's going to be 16. So we're talking about like 16 years ago, because
He was just born.
what? No,
No?
my daughter-in-law was still, and he's my first grandchild.
Yeah.
So she was still expecting him. And I just couldn't wait to meet my first grandchild. And so I was leaving, you know how like you're leaving,
Yeah.
and everything was just so, oh my God, the peace. It was so beautiful. But then I realized that I hadn't met my grandson yet.
You couldn't go.
No. What are you looking at?
Battle scar from last night.
What happened?
I don't know what happened. I woke up with it this morning.
But anyway, so I literally came back. And you know how they say a lot of times with a near-death experience, you hear a voice, it's not time yet. I had the choice. I was pretty bad. But they brought me back.
They brought you back like they brought me back. I didn't hear any voices or see any, lights and things like that, but
I didn't see light.
I know who was there to get me out of that.
Yeah.
Because I said to, oh God, please don't let me, and
See, you didn't want to go yet.
oh no. Listen, I don't want to go if I had no say in it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you and I have talked about this before, that you can have a life extension if you
Can.
have it, you like talk to God and you make an agreement, right?
I mean, 250 years more would be fine. Did I say that? No. I'd be a teenager then now.
Yeah, but so even though, look how many times we've talked about that, Tommy.
Well, the angels intervened.
Intervene for that.
When we say driving, avoiding accidents, somebody cuts you off and you get all mad and indignant and everything else, and you don't realize that your angels put that person in front of you because that's stopping you from being involved in something up ahead.
Yeah, it's funny.
That's happened to me a couple of times.
Yeah, yeah. Amazing, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe because if you were further ahead, you would have been involved in the accident.
I would have been involved in it.
That's why I don't get upset when I'm delayed for some reason, because I just feel that it's the will of God. The angels are the ones that carry on the will of God. That's their job.
Their primary job, yeah.
Yeah, that's their primary job. It's funny because remember I was telling you I had that series of 3 workshops for the psychic development class, and we had the third one final one this past Saturday morning. And everybody was happy. Some of the women came from North Jersey, and they were saying on the news they didn't know whether they were going to come or not. They didn't know what was going on. But anyway, long story short, so this one girl, she said how she had a bird, okay, not hit her car, but the car next to her on the parkway. Like a bird came and boom, hit the windshield of that car. And she took that as a bad omen, all right? Whereas a lot of us there were explaining to her that was really good. That was that's how these people, she was saying she was speeding, the car next to her was speeding. They got slowed down because of what that bird
What
did.
that bird
Do
did,
you
yeah.
understand what I'm saying?
Because if they would have been speeding up some more, something could have happened worse.
And you know how the birds are
Oh,
so connected with
yeah.
the other side. So
I
yeah,
got,
so then
I
she
got
looked at
the,
it differently.
I know that I have the Holy Spirit with me.
Hmm.
I got mourning
Amen.
doves. They're all over my house,
Hmm.
all around my house. You know, ooh, cool in the morning. You know, and they do it, and I love the sound of that. It's like relaxing to me.
Me too.
Is my neighbor has wind chimes right outside my bedroom window, but I can't sleep without them. It's the funniest thing. They kind of like lull me to sleep, and then the birds cooing in the morning when I get up. You know, I don't feel so bad. I'm up early. Saying, well, if they're up, I could be up. That's it. You know.
That's right, when the birds are up. That's true.
They walk. I tell you, one I told you about the other day. A mockingbird landed on. I have an angel like this in front of the garden, in front of the house, and landed right on his head.
Aw.
I got a picture of it.
Aw.
You know.
Aw. That's so nice. I mean, but also many times the angels, their intercession, their intervention. Oh my goodness. You know how many times people tell me, you too, right? How many times that people tell you something really bad happened, like I told you about that girl I know. She was in Bermuda and she was riding one of those scooters and
Yeah,
she
yeah.
had the accident and blah 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 and all that. She was alone on the road. All of a sudden, somebody all in white, this beautiful man dressed in all white, shows up. And then he stayed there with her for a while, telling her everything's going to be okay. And then all of a sudden, an ambulance came and took her. And the man was completely gone. I believe that was Gabriel or Michael coming,
Yeah.
but I felt it was Gabriel because all white,
All white.
you know? Yeah, she said it's the most beautiful man she ever saw.
Really, I don't think there's any ugly ones.
No, but
You
I
know.
mean
When I saw
that's the
when I met my guardian angel, one of them anyway. She, outside of the fact that she was very big, I don't mean this one. I mean very tall.
very tall
Okay,
they
she
were,
was
yeah.
probably the most beautiful woman I've ever seen because she came to me as a woman. You know, so her name is Genevieve.
Beautiful.
You know, so I mean, she was there. She was radiant, and I knew I was okay. I had my eyes open, and you know, I just closed my eyes and went back to sleep. And she saw to it I had a peaceful night's sleep. A lot of times I ask the angels to wrap them, you know, their wings around me and stuff. But then I call my archangels all in. You know, Michael, Uriel, Gabriel, Raphael, Sandalphon, and Metadrin. Metadrin this time. Okay. Me and Mary always
Metatron.
Me and Mary always had odds with this because she calls him Metatron, but he told me Metadrin.
And that's fine. That's yours
Yeah.
and his.
So
Right.
that's,
Most people know him by
yeah.
Metatron. But that's okay,
I mean,
Tommy.
we look at the names of, you know, some of the archangels, you know, like Melchizedek,
Yeah.
which is a really, really interesting story in itself. We did
Hmm.
that on this show one time. We were talking about him, and
Why don't you
it,
explain
well,
what you.
Melchizedek is he's the ultimate. He was the head of the priest in Salem, which is what's it? I think it's Jerusalem now,
Hmm.
but it was called Salem back in
Hmm.
that time.
Yeah.
And
That word has a lot of.
supposedly the story goes that it was, I don't know if it was Noah or Noah's grandfather, or whoever it was. It's like Enoch maybe was part of this too. That the wife was pregnant, and there was no way they were old, you know, and the husband got very indignant and everything else, and he left her. She was very ill. He left her on the bed, basically to die for the blasphemy that she did to him. Then an angel came to him and told him that this was done by them. Okay, when they went back into the room to basically to apologize and everything else, there's a child sitting there. She gave birth after being dead. She gave birth to a child that was like bigger than a toddler, and spoke. So spoke the language and everything, and he was glowing. So they were afraid that the powers that be at that time were going to try to get this child and put him to death because he was so, obviously that. And they got him out of there and raised him in another place. But, it's an unusual story. You should definitely look into the story of Melchizedek, all right? Because the archangels, some of them were here earthbound people, like Enoch for one. And I think it was Elijah, the other one. And they became Sandalphon and Metadrin. Am I right on that?
You're right.
Sandalphon and Metadrin. Okay.
Metatron. But you were talking about the illumination. The illumination. Look at even behind us there. Just look at Ariel behind us.
Yep.
Look at
she
the
is
light.
she is the guardian angel of this show.
She
And of the
sure is.
of the TV show too.
Do you know how many times I've been seeing 444?
Oh, yeah.
44444. No, really. I mean, during like that whole traumatic
I know.
experience
All they're doing
last week.
they're validating to you that they're with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And not to worry.
Absolutely.
Listen, things of this earth, things that you
Trust.
own, possessions, they are just that,
That's
possessions.
right.
The most important thing is you, your family, okay, and
My pets.
and your pets.
Who are my family.
Or your
My two
family.
little girls.
Because nobody will love you like a dog or a cat or any other kind of animal. You know what I mean? They depend on you,
Babies.
and they give you unconditional love, and that's why their lifespans are not long. And they condensed their lifespan because they are unconditional love. All right, we miss them like crazy, and we cry over them, and I've been there, done that, and we'll do it again. But I'll never be without a pet.
No. See how you just said that?
Mhm.
What it is I can never be without Capri. Capri was my original baby, okay, from quite a while back. And Capri and I made a pact. And people might think I'm crazy what I'm saying, but I have found this to be true with other people too, because they reincarnate, they come back. And Capri and I, before she passed away, literally made a pact that she will always come back to me until we can go together. Know what I mean? And she has. She has. I told you about that.
Yeah.
But I won't go into all of that.
And because I had to go to New Mexico to go get what?
No, it was Arizona.
Same thing is hot.
Yeah, we had to go to Arizona. Well, okay, so you brought it up. All right, so when Capri passed away, long story short, Archangel Michael and I worked together because my husband and I our whole family was devastated when Capri passed away, our beautiful little Maltese. I mean, devastated. And the reason is, I'm going to tell you too. Here it is. So God blessed us with Capri, Angelica Capri. That was her full name. And actually, Her Majesty Angelica Capri. That is her name. And what happened, the reason that we were blessed with Capri is because not too long before that, I had a miscarriage. We lost our baby, and so which completely devastated us. And so then God blessed us literally with Capri, and I wasn't expecting to get a dog. I really wasn't, Tommy. I promise you that. And then, I don't know, I could feel the essence of my baby girl I could feel the essence. I'm not saying that people reincarnate into animals. I'm not saying anything like that. But a soul of a child does not completely connect to the embodiment of the pregnant mother until sometimes even up to 7 months. Even, I'm telling you, because maybe a mom can be expecting, and then the soul comes in and then decides, no, I don't, because we pick our lives and everything. No, I don't want to. I think that maybe, and then another soul may come in and attach. But the Native American people believe that up until 7 months. Yeah.
All right.
So then when Capri was getting ready to leave this earth, Capri and I had a long conversation. And Archangel Michael, plus the fact that I'm an astrologer,
Okay.
I'm a soul astrologer, which means that I can see your all the reincarnations that you've had just by looking at your chart, your astrological chart. So boy, did I work tirelessly. Long story short, found out that Capri was going to reincarnate. The first time was up in New York State on actually Onondaga, which I find interesting because my husband is 1/4 Onondaga. So I found that very interesting. But that was the longitude and the latitude. It was just amazing.
Is that how you found it?
Capri?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, astrologically, it's when everything was aligned for reincarnation, for rebirth in
Okay.
her chart and in my chart to receive. It's very complicated. But remember my friend
Yeah.
Steven Sinopoli I told you about?
Well,
One of
you
my
were
mentors.
telling
I
me about.
showed him all the charts. I was absolutely 100% correct.
Well, I asked you about that time when you had to go out to Arizona to go get the
That
dates.
was no.
Well,
That was
that's
New
what.
York.
No, I
Then
know you went to New York for this one.
Gabriella reincarnated. Several years, many years went by because Gabriella, Capri reincarnated into Gabriella. And then Gabriella into Ariel, who's with me now, thank God, and her twin, Tiffany.
Okay.
So, but bottom line, I know I sound like a nut, but I'm telling you, you don't know how many people I have helped with this because
It's hard to deal with the loss.
yes, and I can tell a person
Mhm.
by the longitude, the latitude, exactly where the soul reincarnates. And our pets always want to come back to us. You know that, Tommy. Look at you.
Let
Look
me tell
at
you something.
you.
I lost my best friend, my brother, and my beloved Jack Russell in 52 days. And my wife thought I was going to explode
Yeah.
and kill somebody because I was like so on edge.
How do you?
And I'll put it to you this way, losing my best friend the way it happened, hit by a drunk driver while he was walking and killed him instantly, and he just lost his wife to cancer at that time. It was just a little bit too much to take. Then my brother, but we expected that because he had cancer and he had other kind of things that were just so many different things,
That's sad.
you know.
I'm so
And
sorry.
well, let me tell you something. My brother and Silver Star winner, the Army was there and they read the account when he won the medal. It was just a beautiful thing. My nephew was there to receive the flag and everything. So
Yeah.
it was a very nice thing there. And then when my dog went, well, I lost it. I just lost it right there.
Yeah.
That was just unbelievable.
That's how I was with Capri.
Yeah,
I completely get
it,
it.
it was. I was completely lost. Just completely lost. And then I found Brent Atwater was her name. And
Oh, yeah. You were telling
yeah,
me about her. Pet medium, right?
she's every medium, but she's a pet medium too. And I was in a little bit of a group that she had there, and they helped me to basically, even though he's physically not there, he's there. All
Oh,
right.
yeah.
So I mean, I'm in my bed. I feel the bed move, next to me like he used to do. He used to come and snuggle up on my back or whatever. And those things still happen to this day. But she helped me to recognize, like act like just take him. He never used to be able to come with me, and then I would take him. Now, come on, we're going in the truck. We're going for a ride. You come with me,
Oh.
and then he would validate because I'm driving along, and you know, I have a tractor trailer in front of me. It's a flatbed, and the rear section of the bed in the back is about that high, and right on there, I'm in bumper to bumper traffic with this thing in front of me, and there's a little rainbow in the sky, and there's a tag, like a sticker, in the middle of that. It says, "I love my Jack Russell."
Oh.
I'm telling you that if it wasn't for this,
Doesn't it just?
if it
Yeah.
wasn't for that, okay, it would have took so much longer to get over that initial shock. You know, it's when you separate from them, they live a short time because they give you absolutely a lifetime's of love in a matter of years. You know, and it's hard to let go of them
Yeah.
when they do. But the memories, the pictures, and all the stories that how they acted and what they did, and you know how they would console you when you feel terrible. They come and snuggle with you and they kiss you, and you know it's even with people. I have many friends who have cats and things. I love cats too, and the cats come up there and they do the most unusual thing. My Jack Russell, I didn't know I was diabetic at that time. And I was on my couch. I went to get up, and he jumped up and pushed me down on my chest and kept me down. He was just laying there, and he didn't want me to get up. So I stayed there for about 45 minutes until the episode passed. I didn't know until I went to the doctor to find out what was the matter. And then
Oh
I found
wow.
out.
I don't think you
But
ever told me about
yeah,
that.
he did a lot of things. You know,
Beautiful.
they are God's ground angels. That's what they are. He
Absolutely.
created them to bring us joy, and he created us to look after the animals. And if I hear these people that do these horrendous things, I don't want to tell you what I would like to do to them. However, that being said, you know, that's their problem, and that will be their karma and the things they're going to have to explain when they do the review.
Well, I mentioned before that I worked with Archangel Michael because I needed strength tremendously. And then Archangel Michael is the one who inspired me of what to do to utilize the blessings that God gave me in order to figure out when exactly. So I've helped a lot of people with that, actually, for their pets too that had passed. But yeah, but you're right. The last time it was Arizona. That's where our babies were. And when I told my husband that, he said, "Oh no, oh no." But we did.
I
We
hope,
flew
I
out there
hope
and
for
flew
your
them
sake
back.
they never say Alaska. That's one hell of a
Oh,
ride.
be quiet now, my goodness. Okay, but yeah, Arizona, and we went. We went. We got them. Had to do it. That was
Did you
it.
fly back with them, or did you?
Yeah, no, of course. We flew out to Arizona and we took like maybe 2 days, went to Scottsdale and, that kind of stuff. And, I love Sedona. And then we went and picked them up. And then immediately from picking them up straight to the airport because they were scared. They were scared. They were only 10 weeks old. One was a pound, the other one was like a pound and a quarter. They're
Wow.
twins, two little girls. Oh, yeah. Ariella's only 4
He's
pounds
4 pound
now.
now. I mean, Benny is about 9 or 10, and he now with his haircut, he thinks who the heck he is.
Oh, he's so cute. Oh
He
my
think
God, Tommy, that picture you sent me.
there's a movie called The Never
He's
Ending Story
cute,
with
cute,
this
cute.
flying dog thing, right? And
That's
Benny
so
looks
funny.
exactly like him. And when he's all shaved down and everything else like that, he thinks he's a prima donna.
Well, he is. Are you
A prima
kidding?
donna.
He is so adorable. That you sent me that picture the other night. I
You know
couldn't
what
get
his name
over
is?
it.
You know what his full name is?
What?
His full name on his papers is Benjamin Buford Blue.
Whoa! There you go.
You remember Bubba?
Royalty.
You
Oh
remember?
yeah.
Remember Bubba on? Yeah, that's who he's named after.
Oh, he is.
Benjamin Buford Blue.
That's where I heard that before.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cute. That's
And
cute.
Dagger is just Dagger. I call him Dagger Johansson, but he's Dagger. It's funny when you hear Tommy, my grandson, call him that. The way he says it, like a Norwegian. I don't know how
Really?
he does things sometimes. This kid that blows my mind. He's a very very old soul. He's been here many times.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that sensation from him. How old is he now,
He's
Tommy?
going to be 8 next month.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
getting big.
You know, you were talking before about Genevieve, how she came
Yeah.
into your life, right?
Hmm.
And like Carol Ann, but
Carol
when I
Ann.
was a little girl, Carol Ann is still with me. She's really my guardian angel. My archangel, guardian angel,
Uriel.
is Uriel. Yes, very good, Tommy. You remember.
Hmm.
Yours is Zed Kyle. But, you know, the angels come in your life, especially at a time when it's really needed. So there it is, the intervention.
Yeah.
Even when I was a little girl, you know, I mean, we had to move in with my grandmother. I was in my grandmother's house. And so that's when Carol Ann
Yeah.
first came to be with me. And no, not imaginary friend. Carol Ann, beautiful,
That's right.
beautiful angel. Because she came to me again when I was in my, what was I, in my 30s?
Yeah.
Getting 40s? Yeah.
The show we did, uh, not the last show, but the one before that, we had people on who used to
Oh,
work
yeah.
with a guy named Ray, right? And he had stigmata, all right? And he would do healing things with the rosary beads and things like that, and people would get better. People who had cancer didn't have cancer no more. I mean, he was just amazing,
Miracle.
a miracle man, all right? And we were talking with the people who interacted with him, that were with him through all of this. He
Yeah.
used to have statues and paintings of the Blessed Mother that was dripping oil, and they collect the oil and would give it out to people. It was just a beautiful, beautiful show we were doing.
We're talking
So
about the one, sorry,
yeah.
but what we're talking about some very serious stuff here
Hmm.
because the one woman, Deanie, her little girl,
Yeah.
okay, couldn't walk.
Couldn't walk.
Ray healed her.
Yeah.
She
And
walked
what about the other lady with cancer? How many times? And she had 5 kids, and they told her she could have
twice.
kids.
Yeah, twice. Yeah.
So while we were there, and Mary's telling
Uh,
Brian in the booth, put up another picture. Put up another picture. And these are pictures of where they were with Ray.
yeah.
Ray had his hands bandaged and stuff. And there's a picture of Deanie standing there, and there's a wooden door facing out.
Unbelievable.
And I'm sitting there and I go, oh my God, look, it's Padre Pio. And there he was in the door. Okay.
No,
She's
literally.
she's had that picture. She's had that picture
It's
that
like
over 12 years. Yeah.
2009 or
Yeah.
something.
And never was there.
No. Yeah, there
And
were four guests we
yeah,
had,
and we have 4
and
guests who witnessed the
they,
miracle.
yeah,
All right.
literally on the stage when we were filming.
Whenever
Yeah,
Mary and I talk about Padre Pio, something always happens.
always
Okay.
something miraculous.
True. It happened to me, with the stigmata. But, it's just to let us know that he's always with us,
Hmm.
and whenever we need healing prayers and stuff, we call on him too,
Yeah.
along with Raphael and the archangels. And you can't say that wasn't directly, divinely impinged upon, to use your word, okay? For us to see that. And I just stood there and I was like in total awe
All of us were,
because it was like, I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
and even these people who have received such tremendous miracles, when they saw that, because that had never been in that picture,
Nope. That is validation
and it's
of that
distinct.
of the topic of that show,
Yeah,
of the person we were talking about, Ray. Okay.
he was
And
there.
also about Padre Pio, because Padre Pio and I, we have, you can see a resemblance in us. We have that there, and we're both healers.
Hmm.
All right. And that was just an amazing thing that happened that day. And really kind of like validated the whole thing, brought it full circle. You know, it just did.
Yeah, well, all those guests, amazing people, and they have such great faith. And see, that's the other thing. You know, Tommy and I have tremendous faith in the Lord and the angels because the angels are the messengers and workers of God's divine intervention, right? The angels do a lot of that work. So we have great faith. Those guests that we had there
Yeah.
that night, they have great faith.
Yeah.
You need to be healed. You have to have faith that it will happen, and that there will be
Well, the good
intervention,
part about it is
not
that
just physically, emotionally, even spiritually.
the lady had her daughter there was
Yeah.
fairly young. I would say maybe in mid-20s.
Yeah,
Okay.
beautiful
And
girl.
she actually got to see a miracle.
Yeah.
I mean, she's seen a miracle in her mother's recovery
Yes,
from all of these things.
twice.
But this was a physical miracle that took place right there
Right in front of your eyes.
on a show that she happened to come on. Okay. And it was like, that's the validation to help you have that strength and that faith and that fortitude to go forward in your life, no matter how rotten things you may think are. Always be grateful and give blessings that you're learning lessons. Give blessings, and those things seem to mellow out. You know, so
Yeah, but see, so when you call upon the angels to come and help you, have faith that they will come, because they will. I mean, that's their job. That's what they do. And even if you don't see them or hear them or anything, no, they're working at it, okay? Because that's their job. That's what God has them do.
things when you start to put your faith in God and His angels that He has created for you to help you navigate through
That's right.
this 3D world that we live in here. All right, to help you come to realization of who you are. You are a child of Christ. You are the God within, the God conscious. All right, that's who you are. As Mary and I have said it many times, you are a spirit having a human experience, not the other way around.
Right.
Okay, and when you come to the realization that, you know, what you're looking at there, looking at me, looking at Mary, right? This is not who we are. We are spirit, and we will return to spirit, and we will incarnate if we want to. Okay.
If we want to.
If we want to. Well, I know I'm not coming back to this. Oh no, I'm going to some other place. You know, but
Another universe, another
Yeah,
planet, another
yeah, I think so.
galaxy.
Another galaxy or something.
Yeah.
This I had enough.
Yeah, but you know what happens too with reincarnation, Tommy? Our loved ones here, we're all part of a soul group, you know, and you miss your loved ones. That's what happens to the ones that, you know, and lots of times that's a reason, even if you learned all your lessons, you know, because
Well, that's how you
especially
become.
look
That's
at
how
the
you become a
saints.
ascended master. When you learn all your lessons.
Yes, you learn all your, but think about it. The ascended masters had a life here on earth.
Many
And
times.
well, of course, but I'm talking about their last lifetime
Yeah,
on earth, part of a soul group of like their family and everything. But they decided that the work that they needed to do, and God decided for them too, more powerful because they were of such a high vibration, because they had balanced all that karma and had ascended, that the work that they could send down to help us here,
That's right.
because collectively that's what we're all trying to
Well,
do.
I mean,
Ascend.
Saint Germain appeared to Godfrey Ray King. That was his name on that he used to write the I Am Discourses. And I would recommend to any of you out there that want to go on a spiritual path to get the I Am Discourses, Volume 3, and listen to it with, you know, put your earbuds in or put a headphone on and just listen to the book. And you're going to hear language and things put to you in such a realization that explains everyday life, okay, to its simplistic things. We make it complicated. We're the ones that complicate everything, and we're the one that constipates the bad the good results, because we get in our way. We get in our own way. You know, you got to start to grow into your light body. You got to start to be who you were supposed to be. All right, you're not somebody. Let me tell you something. As Neville Goddard said, the rich man, the poor man, the beggared man, the thief, they're all of the same mind. It's just a different arrangement of the mind. All right. So it doesn't matter. I know one thing: the multi-billionaires that are out there, when they die, they might be putting granite on marble. Big deal. Okay, you go to the same place.
Yeah.
Same place. They have nothing better than you.
Yeah, this is true.
All right. Can't take it with you. And that is the truth. The only thing you take with you is love. And I know that the love I have in my heart for people is more than every one of them billionaires combined. So they can take whatever they have and just who wants them.
You know, we were talking on the way here how much we both love. Well, he's passed now. Wayne Dyer.
Wayne Dyer, yeah.
Oh boy,
That
listen to him. Just go and listen to him. Audiobooks or you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's a ground angel. He's a mentor to me. And the
And
people
me.
that and you and the people he suggests, you know, like Neville and Carlos Castanedas, Abraham Laszlo, Florence Scovel Shinn, Connie Mendez. I mean, so many. That
It isn't hard though to understand
it,
him.
it's not.
He makes it very simple.
He's gentle.
Yes.
He's gentle, and his delivery
Mm-hmm.
penetrates. It actually penetrates the soul. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. This man had been through so much. His professor, when he was going for his PhD, that's a true story. He was going for his PhD, and on that day, his mentor, his professor, Abraham Laszlo was his name, okay, passed away on the day he received his PhD, as if he was handing the baton to Wayne Dyer
Yeah.
to go forth and continue to work. And that's exactly what he did. That's exactly what he did.
Sure did.
An amazing man who could sit there and just
He would
tell
just
the whole
talk.
story and just
He
and
would
just talk
Yeah.
and remember everything.
Yeah.
I have never
Just
seen that
talk.
before.
Yeah.
Without some kind of teleprompter or something. He was unbelievable. When he wrote his books, he didn't use a computer. He didn't have a computer in his house.
No.
Everything by hand. Imagine that.
I feel what was going on is automatic writing.
Yeah, we both do it at the same time.
Yeah, right? That's
Automatic
what I
writing.
think what was happening here. So, you know, I see the time there on the screen. I can't believe that this time went so fast. Oh my goodness. But if you need intervention in your life, you need a miracle in your life, ask the angels. Ask the saints. If you believe in saints, you ask them too, the ascended masters. You talk to God. You talk to God, and what's going to happen is God sends
Who you need.
Yes, the angels for you.
He'll send to you
intercede.
whoever you need.
Mm-hmm.
If you need, say, a ground angel, he'll send a stranger to you that all of a sudden just seems to be like a mentor.
Yes.
All right. You have an angel that comes to see you because you're losing faith and hope and this, that, the other. He'll send you an angel, okay, to help your strength, to help you get your resolve back, to move forward.
It might be somebody you just meet
It could be that's right.
in the supermarket or
That's right.
something like that. You have a conversation with, for goodness
I've
sake,
I've
and
had
you
a lot
don't
of-
realize, you
I've had a
know,
lot of-
that's really
I've
an
had a lot
angel.
of intervention type of things that happen. You know, every morning I always ask God to put the people that need my help in front of me,
Mm-hmm.
okay, on my path, and I will help them. And so many times I go someplace or I go see a client or whatever it is, okay, and all of a sudden I knew I wasn't there because I had to go do something for them. I was there for them. And it's just become that.
Well, I need to share something else with you.
Good.
Okay. The other night, last week, when my two little Maltese and I had to flee and we went to Daniel's house, my son, I have to tell you, I felt such a light and so many angels around my son. Not just because he's my son and he loves his mother and all of that, and I love him. No, no, no. There was like, it was just amazing. He's a very spiritual man anyway, but boy, let me tell you, I felt that they were really like working with, he was so gentle, so sweet. Oh my God. Oh my God. It was unbelievable.
Well, he was also reinforcing your, you know, that everything was going to be fine. Everything's gonna be fine. The house will be fine. The business will be fine, and
And
you'll
everything
go back
is.
home, and the fire will go out, and all that is stuff. And thank
Everything
goodness
is.
that it headed that way. You know what I mean? And look at they try to throw you a curveball with a tornado, and that thank God it never appeared.
I'm telling you, my family and I, we were out at a restaurant, our favorite restaurant in Tom's River. And Tommy told me that later on, I had seen a thing come up on my watch that said some kind of a weather thing, but we were all busy in the rest. A tornado! My God, I didn't know.
You want
That's
to
why he was like over there telling me, "Oh my God, what's going on at the Jersey Shore?" You know.
show the spiritual journey?
Yes, please. We only have 3 minutes. Thank you.
Okay, we got 3 minutes left. Can you put some of the store items up? Please?
Thank you, please. Thank you. Okay. So, you can get to the store. It's you just go on Hope Hypnosis .com/store, okay, and then online. And can you go in it? There we go. Okay, here's just some of the stuff that we sell. Beautiful things, beautiful crystals, angels, jewelry, berries, beautiful bracelets, beautiful jewelry. We have a lot of pendants. Oh,
That's the
look at
Aladdin
that.
lamp.
There's the Aladdin lamp. And I just love that blue necklace, don't you?
Yeah.
So mother of pearl, selenite, multivite.
Yeah.
We have multivite.
Multivite, and there's not multivitamin, multivite.
Multivite. Yeah, I like that
Hey,
moonstone.
there's Padre
red.
Pio, my boy.
There's Padre Pio.
Look at him and look
yeah.
at me.
Up, out of stock, Tommy. We have to
What?
get some more out of
No, it
stock.
says low stock, low stock.
Oh, it says low stock? I
Low
couldn't
stock,
see
okay.
without my glasses.
that-
Yeah,
you gotta put
gonna
the
have
other-
to get some more. And yeah, but beautiful pendants, manifesting candles, and the crystals that we have. They're absolutely gorgeous. But you can go on there and you can order online, or you can call the store at 609-242-3900, 609-242-3900, and we'll ship it to you. Now, also, you can make payments on this.
Yes,
You know, you
yes.
have that kind of
I
like
was just
little
thinking
easy
that. It's funny
pay
that
thing.
You said that.
Yeah, it's on there. I mean, I think that's cool.
And all the items are blessed now by holy smoke because it didn't get to
Oh,
it.
stop.
I'm pretty
Stop. No, the Holy
Well,
Spirit.
you realize
Holy
that smoke
Spirit.
is a cleansing item.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look at I
So,
burned sage.
You know, you could look at it that way too. I mean, the sacrifice of the pine barrens, you know, it's a terrible thing, but the smoke is a purification.
You know, you're right. Okay. Thank you. That's how I'm going to look at it. Thank you, Tommy. You come out with these things sometimes, I got to tell you. But that's the truth. You're right.
Anyway, we have 51 seconds.
What do you want to say?
I want to say, listen, it's always been a pleasure for us to bring you these stories of angels and interaction with angels and things like that. If you have any questions or stuff, we will be going again live, I think next month. Ken, we're going to do it next
We
month?
keep saying that, and then we don't do it. We need to.
Ken? All right,
Yeah.
we'll try for next month. We'll put ahead of time in Mary's newsletter if we're going to be doing that.
Yeah.
All right. So until that time, okay, and get your questions ready so you could ask. Remember one thing, please be brief because we get a lot of calls at that particular time, and then we can't have these long interacted calls. All right. So let's say good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night. Good
Thank
night.
you so much for watching.
And
Many blessings.